what unique things did you do with Birth of a Nation that makes you feel deserving of the honor that you're receiving?
I try to manage my expectations. You know, when you say deserving, I don't know. You know, I just made a film that meant something to me, that I thought had a social message that I thought would be progressive for all of us, that could feel healing in the country, that could do it in a way that was with my art. It's weird when you get awards because you don't want to be self-congratulatory. You just want to be humble and grateful. So I don't know what I did to deserve it, but I'm grateful that I have it.
Was there ever a point with the 27-day shoot that you thought you couldn't get it done and maybe you bit off a little too much?
The question, if you guys can hear, was there ever a moment where in the 27-day shoot that I thought I couldn't get it done? No. And if I did feel that way, I would never let anyone know. The important thing with being a director is everyone looks to you, for everything. It's a fish swims from the head. And so every day I had to be the one that walked the fastest, that smiled the hardest, that was willing to sweat. I wore a suit in the days that I wasn't, in costume. And when it was especially hot, I wore a wool vest, just so everyone knew that I had skin in the game. And it worked. I felt that my team was always with me, and I never felt like there was a hierarchy. I made everyone feel, I tried my best to make everyone feel like their opinion was important. And that to get through those 27 days when we actually scheduled a call for 38 initially, the only way was for everyone to work at their capacity. And the only way people do that is if they feel appreciated.
Would you write, direct, and star in a picture again? Would you ever do this ever again?
Absolutely, absolutely. I try not to recognize limits. For me, it's it needs to be done. Sometimes you just gotta do it. I always said I made this movie with $2, bottle of Coke. I had to, and I didn't have to do that. I don't know if I would be really honest. But I think at some point you have to let everyone know the train is moving, the rock's taking off, and you move forward. And if that means you have to do write the script or write the rewrites or whatever it is, or raise the money, which I have to do, you just do it.
Between WGN's Underground, this movie, and the movie with Matthew McConaughey, it seems like there's a lot of movies featuring about slavery these days. Can you talk a little bit about why that is, and how do you talk black people into coming and see a movie about slaves?
Well, the first question, I wouldn't say I wouldn't identify it as a lot of movies about slavery. I'd say that people in 2016 are more open to the truth about who we are and what our identity is. So we can tell those stories in a way that's unapologetic without feeling like they're polarizing or they're making people uncomfortable. So, I don't think my film is a film about slavery. I think it's a film about healing and liberation and resistance being an option. And I think that when you can identify the specificity in your themes in your film, then whatever box they try to put you in, you never fit, because it is what it is. It is the thing you designed it to be. Your second question was,
how do you get black people to come to the
that's interesting. We made a good movie.
But just in terms of, and I don't know how to say this without being mean, but as a black person, I don't want to see a movie about slaves.
Well, like I said, it's not a movie about slaves. It's a film about resistance and liberation, and a revolt. And this, as you know, this country started with a revolt. So I think that it is worthy of our attention because it makes up the fabric of who we are as Americans.
I have a question about the title of the film. It's the same title as the D.W. Griffith 1915 film.
I'm going to let Aja answer the question.
Okay, thank you. Can you elaborate as to why you chose the same title for a very controversial film?
Of course, I'm deeply concerned with our miseducation on who we are as Americans. We talk about freedom, we talk about liberty, and I do think we mean it, but because in those formative years, when I was 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade, all the way to high school, I never learned about Nat Turner. And Nat Turner was someone that lived up to the ideals that was set forth by our forefathers. So for me, when I look back at a film like, The Birth of a Nation, I ask myself, why did this film have the impact it did? And it did because it took advantage of the fact that during Reconstruction, the country was in shambles in many ways. And it was at a point where, you had this new people in the workforce. They were having rights. They were actually African Americans being elected into Congress, and people got afraid. And all it took was for people to stand up and say, well, we can embrace white supremacy as a way of life for self-preservation. We will make sure we are the ones that succeed. So for me, I wanted to point a finger on that and say that is not the way that we need to live our lives, but that is in our past, and we need to recognize it, break the ground, pour the foundation, and move forward as a country, in our industry, and outside of it.
I want to hear about your beautiful home story.
Me
Yes.
too. I'm waiting for someone to ask that question. So, Aja Naomi King, what was it like working with? Huh? Someone asked. Anyone have a question?
What was it like working on such a short time frame with the 20-day or 27-day shoot?
It didn't feel short, actually. Being in Savannah, being together with such a great group of people, it just felt right. It was the right amount of time. We really took our time and delved into all the scenes we were shooting, and it was profound. You know, just the feeling of being there together. We knew what we were doing was more important than ourselves. So, I mean, it could have been 10 days, it could have been 100 days, and it would have been just right.
What was it about the character that you really latched on to?
Well, what I loved about this character was she herself, the first time we see her, you know, she looks so beaten upon, and what I loved was in not wanting to help her, it wasn't out of some kind of attraction, it was this idea that he could no longer be complicit in the furthering of someone else's destruction. And that kind of love, that kind of desire to help humankind, that it really spoke to me. And with Cherry, she herself has so much fight in her, and I think that's what connects these two characters. With her dying breath, she will not be subjugated. You know, she will not submit, and that is what makes them such fiery, animated people. And I think that's what connects them to their souls. And I really love that about these two people.
How did you prepare for a role that is larger than life? How did you get ready for something like that? Tell me some of your struggles.
Last
that
question,
you faced.
by the way. Last question.
I don't actually think she's larger than life. That's what's so beautiful about her. She's human. You know, we all are, and as humans, when we find a way to do something that feels like it's beyond ourselves, but it's necessary to do, like that's the beauty of human nature. You know, we have to believe in doing what is right for ourselves. We have a moral obligation to do what is just, to fight for what we believe. And when we get down to our humanity and we understand the need to protect that, that's what is necessary in playing here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Master. Very, very, very much. Again, Aja Naomi King, remember her days?